Hi guys, this is Jack from Team Empire. Today we are talking about the last new ride line for set 11 Clash of the Heroes, which is the Ezel ride line, which looks like it's going to be very strong, much like Vermilion, and they even brought back the Superior ride, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. But first, let's go over the actual ride line cards themselves. The first one we have is Crimson Lion Cub Criff, which is the same as every other D-Series starter. If you win second, draw a card, but he is essential to this ride line because the grade 2 of the ride line, Bowmans, does mention him in its text. So you are going to want to play him if you're playing Ezel. Moving on, we have Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth, which has the effect auto when this unit is brought upon by a Knight of Superior Skills Bowmans. Search your deck for up to one Reign Supreme King of Beasts, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. And then continuous, Rearguard Circle. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, this unit gets plus 2000 power. So, very similar to a lot of other grade 1s, again, like Red River or Theo. When it's just wrote upon, you can search for the archetypal order, which is nice. Ezel's isn't as essential to the playstyle you will see as Vermilions or Maelstroms, but it still is a very nice card. And that second effect's just kind of alright. Like, if you want to play it in your deck, you could for like a 10k booster, but the fact that you had to wait till you're grade 3 to get a 10k booster seems pretty bad, but because of Ezel's Superior ride, you're actually going to be able to get it really early. So I might have convinced myself actually that's actually not a bad skill. But overall, very basic grade 1. Now we're going to talk about the grade 3 normal order, which is Reign Supreme King of Beasts. Play this card if you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to one grade 3 or less unit card from among them, call it to Rearguard Circle, and it gets 5k power until end of turn. And then you shuffle your deck. So, very basic but very powerful. It's basically a break even to +1 to field, which is very nice. The fact they can call it grade 3 or less unit is very important. And this card can actually call the Keter Sanctuary Cycle card. You can use it to call the cycle card, and the cycle card activates its effects as long as it's called except by a unit card's effect. Since this isn't a unit card effect, you can call her off of the order effect and use her to call something else from the top 5 cards of your deck. So for that interaction, I think this card was really, really nice. And obviously it's searchable, you're going to be able to activate it really early, and I think it's going to be like a good 3 to 4 of, depending on what Ezel deck you're playing. Next up, we have the grade 2 for the ride line, which is Knight of Superior Skills Bowmans, which has the effect act Vanguard Circle once per turn. If your soul has Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth and a Crimson Lion Cub Criff, discard a card from your hand, choose up to one Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel from your ride deck, write it as stand, and it gets drive -1 until end of turn. Then auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, you may have this unit get plus 5000 power until end of that battle. And if you do, at the end of the battle, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. This is Superior Ride from the ride deck with no real conditions. You just need to discard one and have the other 2 in the soul. So really, you can be on grade 3 while your opponent's still on grade 1. Which normally I would say it's a really bad idea, but once we look at Ezel, we'll realize that Ezel doesn't do anything until turn 4, or until the next turn after he's wrote upon. So I guess with that, it makes sense why. Also, you don't have Excel markers, so you're not going to be able to draw 1 off like getting Excel 2 and stuff. You only have drive -1. So I think it is a way to make Ezel unique and make Ezel strong, because riding to grade 3 is still really, really good. On top of that, if you're going first and you use this effect to ride to grade 3 while your opponent's on grade 1, they'll be on grade 2 their next turn, and then your next turn, you can Persona Ride. You can Persona Ride while your opponent's on grade 2, which is kind of insane. Also, that second effect seems a little underwhelming, but it's actually essential, this type of skill, for Ezel's multi-attack. So you're going to want to play maximum copies of Bowmans in your deck. So yeah, overall a really powerful grade 2. Moving on, we have the actual grade 3, Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel, who has 3 skills. The first skill is Continuous on Vanguard Circle. You can only ride cards with Ezel in their card names. Then, Auto Vanguard Circle. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have 3 or less units, costs Soul Blast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit card from among them, call it to an open rearguard circle, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Then, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, cost Counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 grade 3 or less unit cards from among them, call them to an open rearguard circle, and this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn, and then you shuffle your deck. So the first skill is there just to make sure that other decks can't take advantage of the early ride to grade 3, so that like you can't play like Youthberg, right? And then you play this ride line, go to grade 3, and then on your turn 4 you just ride into Youthberg. You know, it's just to make sure you can't abuse this, which makes sense. The other 2 skills, like I said, if you're going first, it doesn't really matter if you get to grade 3 before your opponent even gets to grade 2, because Ezel doesn't do anything until the start of your next turn, and until your opponent's on grade 3. So I think for that, they balanced it pretty well. As for these skills, they're pretty good. Like, being able to look at top 3 and call 1 is very nice, and being able to call 2 from top 7 is really good. That means Ezel can get 5 attacks, as long as you have ways to put the units in the front row off the field, off the rearguard circle. So Ezel, very nice grade 3. I'm looking forward to seeing how this makes an impact in the meta. But now let's go over the 2 support cards. We have the first one, which is a grade 1 Silverfang Witch, who has the effect auto when this unit is placed on a rearguard circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with only Gold Paladin for its clan, this unit gets plus 5k power until end of turn. Then you can Counterblast 1 to draw a card. So, nice GG for the deck. Being able to get additional power is very nice, and being able to CB1 to draw a card. And it seems a little slow since you have to be on grade 3, but again, since this deck can get to grade 3 really fast, it can get to grade 3 on turn 2. This is effectively a turn 2 card. So that's really nice. It's 13k booster or attacker, and a CB1 for a draw. Especially for the fact that nothing else in this deck CBs except Ezel, but Ezel only does it when your opponent's on grade 3. So he's not going to start CBing right away. So overall, really nice draw engine for the deck, and very nice art if I say so myself. But anyways, moving on to the last card we have, which is Listener of Truth Dindrain, who is a double rare, who has the effect auto when the student's placed in a rearguard circle. If you have a Vanguard with only 1 clan, costs Soul Blast 2 to countercharge 1. Then, auto rearguard circle, at the end of the battle this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, cost put 1 other rearguard in the same column as this unit on the bottom of your deck to stand this unit. So even though I was just talking about how this deck doesn't actually CB that much, they still gave it a countercharger, which I find pretty funny. Soul Blast 2 is pretty heavy though, so I feel like you're not going to be using this skill as much unless you have other ways to get soul in this deck. Because I think the Cycle Triple Rare in set 11 is going to be played in Ezel, and that's already a Soul Blast, so I'm not sure how much this skill is going to get played in the deck. And then we have the other effect, which is really good. Like, I was just talking about how you need to play maximum copies of Bowmans because he bottom decks himself after he attacks. But now you have another card which bottom decks another rear guard, and it stands itself. So when you call something off Ezel's effect, you could still boost it to try and hit over defensive triggers. So obviously Dindrain's a 4 of, and I think that second skill makes it really good. But yeah, overall, that's really it for Ezel, and this is pretty much it for set 11 too. This is the last ride line that's being revealed. I think the superior ride isn't as much of an issue as it is in V, and it can't even affect premium since Bowmans rides it from the ride deck. It doesn't ride it from hand. So I think overall, it's going to be really interesting to see how Vermilion and Ezel shake up the meta. I think they did a good job balancing out those 2 ride lines. The Craycross Epic ride lines are obviously very strong, great upgrades. Excited for the manga ride lines. Pretty much everything in set 11 is looking really hype, as usual with overdressed sets. They've been doing a really good job. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think about Ezel and his ride line, and let me know your thoughts on set 11. If you actually enjoyed the upgrades, if you enjoyed the new ride lines, and you enjoyed the manga decks as well. With that being said, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.